Oh, it's the Hot Show. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's the Hot Show, and I can't guess what's gonna happen next. So come on and join in. Let's do the Hot Show. Howdy, and welcome to the Hot Show. I'm Hot the Cat. Thanks so much for being here. I have something that I'd like to say at the top here, besides the hey, thanks for being here, and thanks for, if you follow us on the social media and stuff, that's very nice. But, today is the 69th episode of the Hot Show. And this is kind of a nice event, I think, because, I don't know, it gets me thinking about all the ways that I'm in kind of communication and reciprocation with all the people that help make this possible. I don't know, it's just such a nice way to put something out there in the world and for people to look at it and do something of their own back. I don't know. It's a really special thing to me. I went to get some Thai food on my way home today to do this show, and I went to this place that I really like because the food is very good. It's very a little bit different for some Thai food I've had in Chicago. But one of the things I really like about that place is that there's this man there that runs it, and he is such a nice person. He's so present, and every time I'm there and get that food, I can just tell how much care he puts into the things that he does, into the food that he has, he's making, and the care that he takes even when you're just there to pick up some food, and it makes me really just want to take the time with that food too, that, just putting care into things, and kind of putting love into things. It just I feel like it has a way of kind of bringing love back out. I'm really excited today because today we have on a guest that I think does this in their music, taking kind of a lot of care and love in their music, and it makes me want to have a lot of care and love in the listening of the music that our guest today puts out. I'd like to really welcome Eric Sawa. Welcome to the show. Oh, I think I just got rid of you, actually. Hold on. Okay, there you are. Hey, Eric.
Oh,
how's it going?
Good. Glad to be here, and thanks for that really sweet introduction, Hot the Cat. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I it's something that I do really appreciate about what you do. You're even if you're just kind of we're goofing around and everything. I feel like there's a lot of care that you put into, and sensitivity to the what's going on around you. You're one of my favorite musicians to play music with because of that sensitivity and everything.
Oh, thanks so much. Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool to hear.
So we have some other friends joining us today. As often there is, we got Skunky Beaumont driving his truck. Skunky, how you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Where are you today?
I am on 94 eastbound, just entered Wisconsin from Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Very nice, very nice. A perfect place to be.
Mile marker 12.
For this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very exciting. We also have Sheldon, as usual, joining us today.
Howdy.
Sheldon, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. I ate a lot of guacamole, and that's a good place to be in.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cool. But you finished eating guacamole now?
There's still a tiny bit left, but I think that I should not eat all of it in one sitting, as to practice some restraint on excessive guacamole eating.
Yeah. I understand on the one hand, but I also do not understand on the other hand. Holding back from guacamole.
I think it's that I want to savor it, allow myself time to really enjoy it.
Right, right.
Although guacamole is something that is preferably eaten fresh.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to meet you, Eric. It's been nice listening to your music.
Oh, great. Yeah. Good to see you, Shelton. So where do you live at?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I read, and I love that Skunky is in Minnesota right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Doesn't it work? It's really perfect.
Yeah, it was nice to make that little comparison.
I just left Minnesota. I'm in Wisconsin.
Well, shit.
Attention, pay attention.
Are you headed? Are you homebound?
I am headed to my terminal, but I will not make it tonight.
Oh,
that's okay. I'll get close.
Well, I hope you feel home on the hot show today.
Yeah, always.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I feel like we should just kind of start talking about this album because you just released this album, Cedar Lakes Recordings, Volume 1, and this is a pretty exciting release because this is your first solo record that you're putting out.
I mean, yeah, I sort of consider it to be like officially my first thing. I did record something years and years ago, like on a 4-track, and I in a way, I was so young then and just noodling with the 4-track that one doesn't count. So like this is kind of more like my first, album that I can more get behind, where I feel like it's a more realized thing where I've had some years behind recording and messing around with songwriting to where I feel like more centered with that or something. So
yeah. But this is an especially I feel like this album is especially exciting because it's like the culmination of like decades, like a decade of work, right?
Yes, pretty much. What sort of went into that is I would take these annual, usually in the fall, trips up to my family property, which is in the outskirts of Ely, Minnesota. It's on a small lake. You have to take a boat to get across the lake to get to this property. It's very remote. My parents do not have electricity there, so I would use a car battery and a power inverter, and that would be my electricity source. And I would usually bring like mainly acoustic instruments, and in my time there, I would just basically hang out, and it would be like my solo fall trip, and just, take some saunas, and then eventually get around to working on recordings and just kind of hanging out. And usually on these trips, I wouldn't really get all that much recorded. It would amount to maybe like 2 to 3 songs, because a lot of times like each song would kind of take up a lot of my time, and I would only have so much time. So over the years, I just kept accumulating songs. So I would say since 12 years ago, I have basically 2 albums worth of music, and I just released like the volume 1, which is what I just put out like a month ago, basically. So that's kind of where this, a little overview of what the album is, I guess. So.
And that song that was played at the beginning before the show started was one of your tracks.
Yes.
Yeah. Snowshoe Hair, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite one on the track. Oh, I just really like that one.
Oh, thank you. Cool.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
Nice. choice.
Excellent. I appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a tune that, like, with most of these songs, they're just things that I basically come up with while I'm there. I don't have any stuff written beforehand. So what I try to do is I just get my recording gear, I get everything set up, and I try to just come across some sort of little guitar thing or any kind of riff or something. Maybe I'll record the drums first. And whatever idea I have that I, like is attractive to me, I just try to stick with that and just run with it. And then I'll have the first track down, like the foundation of the song. And then from there, I'll add on other things to it. So that's how that song Snowshoe Hare came about. I just sort of was, trying different things on the guitar, came up with a part and just sort of ran with it and added on extra parts to it. So that's what my process would pretty much be when I'm recording up there. So,
yeah. Did you see a snowshoe hare? Just curious.
I have seen them. They are like a native animal up there around like the Ely, Minnesota, and you'll see them off season. You'll see them in the summertime, and they do have like really big feet, and they're also more brown, and they're like, they sort of look like the Chicago City bunnies, but they're more lean, and they have real big feet. And like, so in the summertime they are brown, but in the winter their coats turn like, white as snow, so they kind of blend in with their environment and all that,
Huh. I wonder how that happens.
Yeah, I don't really know the science behind that either. It's interesting though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious if you felt more like there were so many delicate little melodies like in each of the songs that like I felt I don't know. It was just pretty interesting to listen to like the like kind of delicate little melodies, especially in that song. I was just picturing like maybe it's just because I'm a kind of a visual person, but I was imagining like a rabbit's little footsteps kind of with the little delicate beats or like melodies that were happening.
Oh, cool. I like that. Yeah, I did get some help from some friends with track titles because I was at a loss to figure out what to name them. A friend of mine offered for that song, there's like the little bridge, and she imagined that there was like snow falling in the little, bridge part of the song. And so from that idea from my friend Calantha, I just thought of Snowshoe Hare because, it's a native animal for the North Woods and all that. So that's how that came about. But yeah.
I was also listening to it like while the snow was coming down. I work outside, so I was listening to it while the snow was coming down, and I think maybe that's how I got in that mindset. But it was a nice, especially like do you also live in a city?
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Humboldt Park, so yeah.
Oh yeah, we're near each other.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
So yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes like I looked into like a couple other albums that I was like thinking of in the back of my head after reading. I don't know if we should read the part, just what you wrote on the Bandcamp about the album and getting yourself out into nature, and like why that house is important to you, and like how you allowed yourself to like seclude yourself. And it kind of made me think of a lot of albums that I really enjoy, like Bon Iver's for Emma Forever. I think I can't remember the title. It is on my bookshelf somewhere.
Oh wow. Yeah, he's from like Wisconsin, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I should double check. I know that it was definitely Wisconsin or like northern.
I think he lives in Eau Claire.
Yeah.
Or is from Eau Claire.
Yeah. It was interesting, like, I don't know, I'm curious to know if like that you think that that's always going to be your method to go out into seclusion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the most easy, fun, like comfortable way for me to kind of delve into recording stuff, because I just honestly don't do it that much outside of taking my solo trips up there. I just honestly don't. But I would like to change that. I would like to like make, just delve into that process more often of like just trying to write some tunes and stuff. But I'm usually just so much more consumed with focusing on playing the drum set. So that's something that I mainly do. Don't play guitar as much nowadays, so the guitar is on the back burner nowadays. But yeah, that's something I for sure would like to get more into, is just like recording in other in other environments and ways, or even just at my apartment, rather than just leave the recording just for the special occasion of like going up to my parents' like remote property,
Yeah. Perhaps a hybrid version exists in the future.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion though. I like that, the hybrid method. So yeah.
I mean, I was just curious. Even if that is your method every time, that's also totally okay. I was just curious because I had listened to like some other albums where like people had done that, or like Justin Vernon had like done that once, and then like he was like, I can't do this every time. It makes me depressed. So like I'm gonna start making happier music. But I felt a lot of like, I think some of his stuff is more sad, and I felt more like joyful listening to yours. But maybe it's the headspace that I was in, or maybe it's not every song is that way. But
I
I personally felt joyful while
I
listening.
agree. Like I think there is a lot of joy and like calm in the music that you're making there. It definitely seems to reflect a space that you're very comfortable being in, and that you enjoy being in. Whereas, yeah, I think the headspace of that Forever Emma, Forever ago,
That one's sad.
forever ago, is like very sad and like isolated, kind of.
Well, there was one other person that I wrote down. There's an album called Rock Creek Park by Odyssey that like I was in the back of my head, like, because I think he went to like Rock Creek Park and just wrote all that. I didn't have enough time to do my research and dig deep into as many articles on that album, but that one's also like a similar kind of like joyful that I felt. But when I was
Wow,
listening,
you have to look that up. Wow.
yeah, it's more. I can't describe it. I don't know. I'm having difficulty because I feel like I like a lot of like R&B stuff, and it kind of like
Okay.
is like a electric melodic, but with a like R&B kind of vibe to it too.
You're talking about the Odyssey one?
Yeah, and it's spelled odd, I, and then C.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, but it was just making me think of that album too, because it's like another one that I like. And I don't know, like, but there were so many like little delicate melodies that you had that were just like reminding me of like things in nature. And the way that you kind of have to slow down when you're in nature to notice like delicate moments. That makes sense.
That's so cool. I really like hearing your experience and like how that affected you. That means a lot to me. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, the being in that physical space for sure informs like the mood I'm in and how the music sort of happens. And that's partly like why I deliberately don't prepare music to go up there. I like to just let something just sort of happen and let something just sort of like fall together while I'm in that place and like in the moment, yeah, I definitely have a strong sentimental attachment to being up at this place that my parents have. It used to be a wilderness camp for high school groups that started in the late 60s and ended in the late 90s. So it was running for a long time. I first started spending whole summers up there when I was 7 years old. So, I mean, it's like a second home to me. And I definitely have like a strong sentimental attachment to just being in that physical space, so.
Yeah, there's a quote by somebody that says like the childlike nature of like the returning to nature is like finding your inner child or something, and I like that there's the cross of both those between that. So thanks for sharing that.
Oh yeah. Thank you. So cool to hear your thoughts about the music though. Definitely. Like, thank you.
Yeah, it brought some joy to my day.
All right.
I was wondering if maybe we should listen to another track.
Sure, if you like.
I
I like, yes. That do.
Nice.
I unfortunately did not do this ahead of time to prepare, except for that one track. Oh, also here I'm gonna bring this up because what just happened? Okay. I want to bring this up because here's the Bandcamp page. I do also want to just highlight this great album art. As I was sharing this out to friends, we got some compliments on the album art. It's really cool.
Vivid.
Is that your work or somebody else?
That's the artwork of my old friend Benjamin Boss. I still keep in contact with him a little bit. He lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he just like, I want to say in recent years, like the past 5 years maybe, he's really like full on delved into this impressionistic style of art. And when I asked him about possibly doing an album cover for me, like he was just so into it. Like he was just really, so it was just such a good fit. And Ben has actually been up to the camp before. That's basically what we call my parents' property. We call it the camp. He's been up there on a canoe trip with me when I was going into my senior year of high school. So he actually has an experience with being in that part of like, you know, the Boundary Waters close to the Canadian border. So it was extra meaningful to me that he was the person to contribute the artwork. And yeah, I loved how it turned out. And it was just like such a big honor for him to like do that, you know, for my like little album and stuff, you know, definitely.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But yeah, I recommend you guys check out his stuff. He's got like a website and he has some amazing pieces on that, on his website and everything. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that thing. Artwork by Benjamin Boss.
Yeah.
Now, are there any tracks that you'd particularly like to highlight?
You know, I think the one that I tend to refer to, like, where people are like, it's like the default play is the Ivar's Meditation one.
Cool.
You know, cool. Maybe just throw that one on if you feel like playing another one. But
yeah, do it. Beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I feel so calm.
Yeah, that's the last track. But yeah, I don't know. Did you hear like the tempo kind of jumping around a bit? Because I was having a little bit of network debacles going on. Like the tempo was sort of jumping around a little bit. I don't know if you heard that same thing or not.
I did not. I did not on my end.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah.
That is unfortunate if that's the case.
Oh yeah, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I was trying to open this jar while listening to that, and I felt like oddly calm, and now I feel like I need the music back to try to like relax.
Oh wow.
I felt like painting like while like it was the music was playing, and now I'm gonna give up on it. It's fine.
That is really cool, like little jar. Like, what do you use that for?
I was just gonna use it to do some watercolors. So I was like, if this song is like, it was feeling like a vibe to make some visual things. Because sometimes, like, when your brain is doing lots of stuff, sometimes, like, when you're listening to something, it's just nice to do something along with it. I have ADD. I like to talk about that on this show sometimes. And I think that was one of the things that my brain does when I have ADD. I'm giving up on this jar. But I was so calm while trying to open it with that song that
Cool.
yeah, and then suddenly no longer I miss it. I need it background on my brain when I'm stressed now.
That's so cool that you're into watercolors. I have a friend that he's done like art in different kinds of mediums, and he said like watercolor. Well, like from what I've heard from other artists, that like watercolor can be like a very difficult like medium to work with. It's just like a more sensitive thing, and you can't. It can be more difficult to control. And so this is what I've heard.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I'm not necessarily good at. I'm a photographer. It's just something that I do to like calm down or like just when I'm like working. I don't know. I think it's like actually it was making me think of this is going to go somewhere. I promise. I was listening to your album and I was thinking of have you ever heard of Aldo Leopold? Do you know who that is?
No, I haven't.
So he's a writer and he talks about like when you're like looking at nature or like he did I remember I had to read it for a class and it was like a class that was about like the power of education and education as an agent for change, which is super cool. But the teacher was a real nice hippie man, and one of the things that we talked about was how like we had to do these 20-minute nature observations. Oh, somebody in the chat has said, and end quote says, yes, Aldo Leopold Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin. I have yet to see it. I want to see it. Thank you, end quote. And end quote.
And while you're in Baraboo, Wisconsin, be sure to check out the Circus World Museum.
I have been there, and also Devil's Lake is great as well. But Aldo Leopold does this amazing thing where he talks about like observing nature, and the teacher made you go out, and for 20 minutes you just had to like write what you saw, like and sometimes it was like as little as like 10 inches, and you would just observe like, oh, there I saw an ant walking, and it actually is a practice of. Have you heard of grounding exercises in therapy?
I have done things in, relating to therapy that I think could be considered grounding exercises. I mean, such as like perhaps like breathing exercises or meditation.
Yeah,
even. Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned like the title of the song is like meditation, or what was it? Hold on.
Yeah, Ivar's meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, and what made me think of that is just like, so when I had to do those like 20-minute nature observations, it makes you realize like where you're at. Like even if you're like having a panic attack or something, you can like list like where you are, 5 things you see, like a couple things you can hear, something you can smell, something you can taste, and it kind of like grounds you in the present and makes you realize that sometimes anxiety is like you worrying about the future or the past and how it might affect the future, and then when you're sitting in the present, it's kind of nice. So I don't know, it's nice. I thinking of Aldo Leopold kind of brought me back to like the way that that song is meditative in that way. That
Oh,
makes
wow.
But anybody, I'm glad that end quote was also appreciative of Aldo Leopold because he's a cool guy.
Okay, so does Aldo Leopold mainly like what is the writing style like? Is it like in the realm of poetry or like observations of nature or like what is it like?
I would say that it's observations of nature and end quote. If you want to add in anything that you have on Aldo Leopold, it's kind of like we would describe like it goes through different seasons too. So it would be like say you were describing like that hair and like the way that it's like shedding different layers. It would describe like the hair in like the spring and then also the winter. And it's like those observations all come back to each other, which is kind of interesting. And it kind of makes you slow down in a way that like I think your music kind of does as well.
Oh, cool. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like to read some of that. That's I'm like finding out about some like really cool tidbits of like stuff to read and then the music as well. So this is
Yeah.
really interesting.
Um there's and then quote adds he's a naturalist and a conservationist, which is yeah, I would
Oh,
agree. Um yeah. I had more questions, but I'll also leave room for Hot the Cat because I know I've been chatting up a storm.
It's been okay
Yeah.
because I don't mean to be rude. I know I've probably seemed a little distracted here, but I'm trying to work on something that I was hoping I could finish before the show. Did not happen. So I'm
Well,
trying to keep
I have a ton of
it.
questions
Uh,
to pick Aaron's brain with. If
uh, yeah, I don't know. I guess like uh, yeah, maybe keep rolling with the questions because I think that like Eric, you and I have talked a fair amount about kind of like your process and like uh, kind of what you're excited about in music and stuff. That I feel like I don't know, I kind of know like it's fun to hear somebody else like kind of be interested in you, you know?
um,
cool.
I wrote down a couple like quick things. It was just like, so like I'm a photographer, and when I think sometimes people assume that I just go out and like take pictures, and I read a lot of like books and research about what I'm interested in, and I think like what's so cool about music is that you can make music about anything, and I like that you did that without lyrics, like, um,
Yeah.
and I so I have there are two things in there that's just I was curious if while like you're doing like research, I guess, like if you read any like books or if you like took photographs or like looked into like uh I mean I think you kind of looked into the history of Cedar Lakes because it is your history, which I think is in like a different way. But I guess I was curious if you like took photographs when you were there, um, or did drawings or did anything else to like absorb the area when you're there.
Oh, sure. I would say that like, I'll do like a minimal amount of photos here and there, just stuff on my phone. I never have got that intense with photography and stuff, but I really love that art form and I love seeing people that can just really do such incredible, unique things with photography. But it's just more like hanging out at the place, just simply being there, like sitting out on the little deck thing outside the dining hall and reading books, whatever I have, which could just be some fiction or a biography about a musician I'm reading, and just like sitting outside and drinking coffee, just like getting out in the canoe, just canoeing around the lake a little bit. I'll work in usually a day trip while I do these little things, just like a 1 day canoe trip and do something like that. And then I will always make lots of time for the sauna because there's like a wood burning sauna So I'll just do these incredibly long sauna sessions and, intermittently run down to the lake and jump in the lake and then just repeat the whole process. And I'll be doing that for like 4 hours on end. And just like, so anyway, just like, yeah, just being outside, walking around, just hanging out at the place. That is just, it's just satisfying in itself to me, and just like, I will go into town. I had friends that lived up there that have since moved away, and we would hang out. And so that was an extra nice thing too, to just have them around. And also that part of the reason why I would take these trips in October is because nobody's there. Like my parents live there during the whole summer. So if I go there the first week of October, I have the place to myself and I get more of this, solitude experience with being there. And just, like, I just love that. And, it's part of the thing that helps me get in the headspace where I can just kind of get some recordings down. And like, I feel like it fuels that process a little bit, but
Yeah. I like that. Sorry, I'm just taking a second. There was a lot of like info that I'm still taking in there. I was particularly interested in like the you had mentioned saunas and I wrote that down, but isn't that like a thing that you do to like I've watched like athletes do that where they get in really cold water and then really hot.
Yes, exactly. Like the sauna, it's a little wood burning. Like there's a wood burning stove attached to the outside of it. It's a very small cabin. There's benches inside there, and so when you go inside, you're sitting around like a wood burning stove, and you just stoke that thing up, and it gets very very hot, and to the point where like if you're stoking it really high, it can be like intolerable. It can be like incredibly hot, and you need to either get outside for a little bit and just take a breather, or what I typically do is I'll jump in the lake. And around the time when it hits October, the weather gets incredibly cold. Like it can like drop into the teens even at night. But like the weather is so up in the air that time of year. Like they don't have much of an actual fall like that far north in Minnesota. It can very quickly go from summer to like winter temperatures like around then. So it's like, yeah, but So you've never taken a sauna before, I'm assuming, or?
No, I have, but it was like so long ago that I like just forgot, I guess. And I'm trying to remember, like, I think I must have been like a child on vacation with like my family, like skiing or something.
Okay, yeah.
So like I'm vaguely remembering that. But there's also like you're from the city, so you've seen people do the polar, or at least seen on Facebook people doing like the polar plunge, which is like when people get into the icy cold water. And I have a couple friends who do the surfing. We shared that on an episode with just the people who do the surfing on Lake Michigan, and it's terrifying. I don't understand how they do that, but it's so cool.
Well, that's supposed to be like really therapeutic though, to do like cold plunges, and I guess it increases like your dopamine levels and stuff. And there's some people like I know someone who's like she teaches like wellness courses and stuff. She does like a cold shower every morning, and I guess there's some sort of scientific research where it actually will elevate your dopamine levels and stuff if you do this. But it's like it's pretty jarring though, and I can't see myself doing that like every morning though, honestly. But and I would need like a hot sauna to get back into to like offset like the cold, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would feel the same way about entering that challenge, or even just the cold shower challenge. But I don't know, sounds interesting. I had one last question that I was just interested in. You mentioned canoeing a couple times, and I wanted to share like so two questions. Well, I think I'm going to share a tidbit, and just an anecdote from my personal life, and then also like ask a question about canoeing. But my parents have this tidbit where they say that you can't marry someone till you've gone canoeing with them, and I think that it's kind of tender because canoeing with someone can be kind of difficult, and I think I prefer to kayak with a lover and or friend because it's just like easier and less communication. So I guess I was curious if you canoe by yourself or if you canoe with friends because you go up there to isolate. So do you canoe by oneself or do you canoe sometimes with friends?
Oh, sure. I started taking canoe trips when I was in third grade. I got introduced to doing that through my stepdad and my mom. So that was my first canoe trip with, parents and my little baby brother. And so since then, I had pretty much done a canoe trip every year practically. And when I got to my years of being in high school, I started guiding canoe trips by myself, and I would bring my friends with basically. So it's if I'm on a canoe trip, it would typically be a 5 day, 7 days, sometimes 9 days, like up in Canada, Quetico Provincial
Wow.
Park. Have you been there, Skunky? Or
Where? Boundary
have you?
Waters?
Yeah, have you been canoeing or like up in like Canada or Quetico? Like I know you're familiar with Minnesota or something, So just curious.
I'm familiar with the area. I haven't done any canoeing up there.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
What about
I've heard.
canoe? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's that?
What was that? I
Yeah,
talked
but
over
what I
your.
was just what I was just rapping about is I've taken canoe trips for kind of a long time. I have done a couple solo trips, like 5 day trips up in the park in Canada by myself. But yeah, when I'm on my solo trips up there in the fall doing my recording stuff, all I have time for really is to do like a 1 day canoe trip or something like that because I want to prioritize the music. And so yeah, I'll rent a solo canoe and I'll just do that. But it's like I love going on canoe trips with people, and it totally is a bonding experience. It will for sure. Like if you bring your friends out there, like people that you know pretty well, that will like you anticipate that they'll like it or they'll get something out of a rustic camping experience. Like you will just never forget it, and it's amazing. And I've done it for many times over, and it's really more my like ideal kind of vacation in the summer is to take a canoe trip with people, basically. But yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have to talk more about this not on the stream because I
Sure.
would say I'm very interested in doing that.
All right. Yeah.
I'm glad that you also, the way that you slightly hinted it is a test of communication. But it seems like since you've been doing it since you were so young, that maybe it might be easier to teach and be more patient about teaching.
Yeah, I mean, the canoeing thing is a learning curve, but the more difficult thing about it is canoeing in the back of the canoe. That takes more skill, especially if you're hitting some waves and things like that. So you do need to have an experienced person with you if you're going on a trip. So even if you're not experienced and like you're going out for your first time and you're with someone that can paddle in the back good, it's pretty easy. Like you don't really need to do a whole lot. You're just kind of helping propel the canoe and pedal on one side for a while, then you might get tired and then switch the other. But yeah, for I have had friends go up on canoe trips with me, and there would be a certain part of the trip where it would be really challenging, and I would have to like realize, I would have to like think, I was like, oh, okay, I remember feeling this way that they do when I was like whatever in like 10 years old or 11, where you just feel like, oh, this is too much for me and this really sucks, this is too much work or too much like stress in one day. And so it's like I have to be mindful of that when I would take people out who haven't been there a whole lot or been on many canoe trips, just to make sure like we have to like make it an even pace and not try to do too much because they've never been involved in this before. This is a whole new thing. So yeah, but you really get to know people on a different level. I feel like if you're with friends or people that you care about on trips, and it's totally a bonding experience. Just being in like pristine like wilderness and moving, traveling every single day, getting to camp out at a different campsite and see different lakes. Like it's just incredible. Like yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I could keep going and going. I'm just,
Sure. Yeah.
um ooh, there's a comment in the chat. Nope. I'm not sure this one makes sense to me. but apparently you look like someone.
John to the G or G, John G.
I don't know who that is. But that's okay. Sorry, I got distracted. When do you decide that that you have gotten past the noodling phase of trying something new? You use the term noodling to describe what your what you were first doing with the 4 track, um, versus how you feel about it now, which seems like you feel like you have. I don't want to say mastered the skill, but it sounded great. So I'll just say, when did you when did you decide to go from noodling, or is noodling part of being a master?
Yeah, well, I for sure wouldn't consider myself a master. It's always like just, you're exploring when you're doing recordings and just seeing what works and stuff. But I'm definitely like comfortable with my little like lo-fi array of equipment. I have like a cassette 8 track, but what I could say about that question is that over the years there were certain times, like I want to say 15 years ago or maybe longer, I started getting some recordings, like instrumental stuff and things that I would work on with my good friend Connor, who he and I used to do recordings up at the camp as well. And so we actually have an album out of that stuff. But once I got some of these recordings with him and like, whatever, 15, 20 years ago, and I sort of was like, oh, I kind of like how these came out. That was something that was like a confidence building thing for me. So it just sort of, just gave me somewhat momentum or make me feel a certain degree of confidence where I believed like, oh, okay, if I go back to this again, I could do something. I could do something that sounds kind of original or, just unique in its own rights, and yeah, so like I guess that's the best way I could answer your question about
Yeah,
that.
I really appreciate the way that you said, like, you phrased it as like exploring, because I think sometimes when you're a creative person trying to try something new, like, there's this like great Ira Glass quote that I'm always quoting, but it just talks about like when you're trying something as a new person and you have really great taste, but then you might not be sure, like when you're in the phase where you're like starting to like what you're making, um, and that's such a challenging thing. So it's always, whenever I like hear some work that I like, it's nice to like hear how you said that like you were just figuring it out and exploring. It's nice to hear that you still view it as like exploring, which is fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like some of the instruments I have on there, I'm not really great at playing, and I don't practice guitar anymore. So I'm not like, I'm just I can do some stuff on it, but yeah, like the last track on the album, like that's with air organ, so that's a key instrument, like those cheap like little air organs that you might find at a garage sale. But I do not play the piano at all. Like that just is something I just was sort of experimenting, and I found some chords that sounded sweet and sort of meditative or something, and then I overdubbed other things with them and like little percussion things in the background. So that was like purely exploring. Like I don't play keyboards, I cannot play like songs on the piano or anything. It was just sort of like doing some like sound collage things and seeing what I like what sounds good to me, and just experimenting with things. And I feel like a lot of people do that in all different types of artistic mediums, whether it be like photography, or people can get real impressionistic with visual art, such as my friend Ben. But yeah, I just like that's sort of how I see music in a way. It's like you're kind of trying things out, you're exploring, and you're in the moment, and you're trying to be in tune with what you're feeling then, and trying to like that, just try to project some sort of window into like what your emotional state is, or what, so it's kind of like that's sort of what I do, I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Man, I had one more thing written down on here, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, do you feel lonely when you're up there at all?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there are like little times there where I'll experience some degree of feeling lonely or whatever. But ultimately, I know that I'm there for kind of a short time, and the place in itself is just really special, and I feel some sort of like warmth just from being in the physical place, and it's attached to like my sentimental feelings, having memories there. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I generally feel like very content when I'm up there. It's like if I spent like a way longer stretch up there, then I think maybe some more loneliness would set in to the point where I might feel like some degree of being stressed out or even like a little depressed. But
Maybe that's when you
yeah.
go here for Emma album. Just kidding, please. Yeah, I was just curious because I think like sometimes it's interesting like the way that you phrase isolation as like a way like to find inspiration, and some people when they're feeling isolated like need to like go like towards the city and people, and I think it's like there's a play of like introversion and extroversion for those things, and it's like I think everybody like can use breaks sometimes, and some people can handle like the isolation and some people can't. And I think during 2020 we all felt a certain amount of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Wow.
But we got so much amazing music out of it too, and like art and just weird stuff
Mhm.
like the Hot Show. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your questions. There's such great questions, Shelton. I appreciate it.
This has been really great. Like just to sit and kind of listen to these questions. I don't know. It's been really nice. I do think that there are some things that we have occasionally done on this show that I thought maybe we could do with you, because I know that you've got a bunch of like cool instruments around you almost all the time.
Mhm.
Like probably within reaching, like within reach, you probably have a few things.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm really curious if you would. I'm going to play a little song, and then I'd like to hear what you can do.
All right. So you want me to like grab something or like?
I think you'll understand once I play this song.
Oh, okay.
What's the coolest sound you can make? I wanna hear it when you shake a piece of paper or a rake. Drop some jello on a plate. I wanna hear the things you do. Put your nose on a kazoo. Whoopee cushion under your shoe. The sound on a flute. I don't care what it takes. I just wanna hear the coolest sound you can make. What is the coolest sound you can make? All right, Erica, what do you got? What do you got around you? I'm sure you've got some cool sounds.
I love that. That was excellent. Yeah, I got some tongue drums. I got a
What is a tongue drum? I'm sorry, that is a bananas ass word. Please.
yeah, a tongue drum is like a rectangular wooden box thing. It's hollow on the inside.
You
and
have
on top of it, there's like these weird kind of I don't know how to describe them. It's like these little panels.
Grab it.
Show us.
Yeah, sure. I could. Let me see if I can fish that out real quick here.
You can't say a word like tongue drum and not ask for it. Episode 69, the tongue drums.
Nice.
I wonder why it's called that. Maybe it looks like tongues. I'm shocked, scared, excited for what this is gonna look like. I was trying to think of a sound that I could make that is.
Oh yeah, I think we're all gonna have to do it.
Oh Lord.
Skunky, you included. I know you're limited, but
I saw some fingers moving. Also, it was really interesting to see somebody being pulled over in the midst of one of those songs. On your like, it was in the reflection of the truck too. I gotta find a thing. I think I found one item that will help.
let me see if I can
Part
do something quick.
part one item. This was found on the side of a rail line, I think. And I'm gonna find something metal to hit with this.
You have some sort of percussion instrument there?
I just grabbed a close item that I thought might make a nice noise, so I'm gonna come back with another item that might make a sound. Is this the tongue drum?
Yeah, it is. I don't have the proper mallets for it. I think they're at my practice space, but I will show you what it looks like, and I'll try to like make it sound good somehow. But this is a tongue drum. See, it's like a rectangular thing, and it's got these little kind of holes in it.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you brought this out. I would have had no idea what the fuck you were talking about. Sorry.
Yeah. So you should play it with like the proper mallets, like maybe like rubber mallets. But so I don't. I'll just try to show you what it sounds like a little bit like. So yeah, I mean that's
Cool.
if you play with the rubber mallets, you get more of like a warm marimba like tone out of it. So, but they're cool like little instruments to have on hand, you know. So.
Do you mind holding it up one more time? Sorry.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
What a beautiful design, also.
Hmm.
Is there a country of origin that this is from?
I really don't know. I don't know what the history of it is, honestly. But yeah, you can. I mean, there's these craftsmen people that are great with woodworking that will like design really cool examples of this one. I feel like this isn't even the greatest one, but you can get some cool sounds out of it though. So yeah.
Yeah. Check that out at the next Ren Fair. Sorry. Sorry, at Ren Fair, there's always like a ton of cool random instruments that I like to pick up and play with.
I've never been to one. I need to go to a Ren Fair, and some friends of mine will do that every year. And so I need to check that out, especially now that you've mentioned that you can find some cool instruments there. So now I really have a reason to go.
Was particularly stoned and was playing with a lot of the instruments in one of those booths with my friends. And it was,
wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, I also I will say, if you go to one, you have to have kind of a bit of money to go to Ren Fairs. So, because things are expensive, it's like Disney World. But with more beer. And yeah, there were lots of a variety of instruments, and that was a free thing to do that was fun.
Oh, cool.
So Hot the Cat, do you have an or a noise to make?
Yes.
The surprise made it twice as fun. The way that just appeared. All right.
What do you got, Sheldon?
I haven't heard it yet. I just thought that this might sound fun. This is a spoon from my liquor cabinet, my bartending thing, and this is a thing that I found on the side of. I used to hang out with my friends at this spot in DeKalb, and it was next to the rail lines, and I found this. Whoa! Each little part made a different sound.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Like, depending on where you hit it. Wow.
I could pick up on that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a better sound that way too. It's like I could hear more like the low end of it when you put it on the table.
Yeah.
Do you think we could do a hot show sound from
Let's do it.
I'm trying to think of a song that we could use. Gulliver Munch Time, Gulliver Munch Time.
I feel like this would be a very hard thing to try to fit one of the hot show songs into what we have available here.
I felt like Gulliver
I,
Munch
like the,
probably.
I admire the ambition there. I think it would be very difficult to do.
That's fair. I feel like I just did Gulliver Munch Time with it though.
But I feel like you can't really say Gulliver Munch Time unless it's Gulliver Munch Time.
It can be Gulliver Munch Time.
Gulliver
You ready? Are we ready?
Hold on.
This is a segment on the hot show that we like to call Gulliver.
It's Gulliver Munch Time, Gulliver Munch Time, Gulliver Munch Time. Crunch, crunch.
Baby's guinea pig Gulliver from cilantro.
Just the part where it's Gulliver Munch Time.
All right.
And for those of you who like ASMR videos,
He's so cute. Like, what a cute little creature.
Very cute.
look at the cilantro disappear. Oh, he did not like that noise.
How did that sound to anyone else? Because I thought it sounded okay, but I can also imagine that we were super off that entire time from each other.
I enjoyed
Yeah. Just thought it was good soundtrack music for the Munch Time, though. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
He's pretty indifferent about most music, but sometimes he I have a playlist that's when he reacts to a song and he likes it. This is gonna sound very odd, but his favorite song is "Drop It Like It's Hot." I don't know why. And Frankie Valli.
Big Girls Don't Cry.
What's the one? You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes.
Okay, the 70s one.
Na, 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 na. He likes it.
Huh.
I don't know. They say that like guinea pigs don't like have reactions to music, but he does this thing where he like jumps and he like squeals when he like gets excited about a song. He's kind of making a percussive sound with his eating.
Huh.
Can you hear it?
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm glad
picking.
that even Gulliver's getting in on the cool sounds. Skunky, do you have a cool sound?
I'm pretty limited here, but I'll go with the classic.
Always a classic.
Do you know why farts smell? So
No.
deaf people can enjoy them too.
No. Farts smell because of the sulfur that's like being released from your asshole, right? Boom, science.
Mm.
Oh, 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 we're nearing the end. Thank you, Gulliver. Thank you for this segment of Gulliver Punch Time. Gulliver's gonna go back in his cage now, or he'll get antsy.
Mm.
I love you. Well, what a good boy. Well, thank you for adding your lovely sounds to the hot show. Where did Hot the Cat go?
I don't know. Hot is MIA.
Do you think that like different like where I hold this will make it sound different?
Hmm.
Hold on. I guess I should show everyone. I'm gripping it like closer. Still sounds exactly the same.
Huh.
I think. I don't know. Can you hear a difference?
Oh yeah, I for sure heard a difference there. Yeah.
Okay, now I did, but the first time it didn't. It's like a tone. It's a tone difference, right?
I believe so. Yeah, there's like a little different pitch going on there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now teach me to play one of your songs. Just kidding. That would be really difficult, and I don't know if we would have enough time.
Mm. So you got some cool artwork going on there. Is that some of your work there in the background?
Yes and no.
Mm.
We've never taken this adventure before, but since Hot the Cat is missing, we'll go on this adventure.
All right.
Because why not? Amy shares some art. Sorry, Shelton shares some art.
Mm.
Look at me using the wrong name. A couple of these are my own. I made this. This is I don't know if you can see because of the glare. Beep.
Oh wow.
This is a print that I made in an intro to printmaking class.
Oh, so cool. Wow.
And it was just kind of a stream of consciousness thing. I remember this person at the register when I worked at a pita restaurant started describing, like I was wearing a hat and they compared it to, or no, they were wearing a hat and I was like, oh, I like your hat. And they were like, oh, my sister calls this my eggplant hat. They were like, I have a little pug, and just shared like stories and about their like pug. And I was like, this is who you are to me now.
That is so cool. I love that. I love the little how there's those little streamy things by the light as to like imply like light illuminating and stuff. It's like it's a cartoony kind of effect there. It's so cool.
Yeah. I'm not like a printmaker, but I think like the way that you approached, like how you said you were like noodling with something, this is like something that was new to me and I was trying it out and I actually like this one, which is, I don't know, I think I have more of my printmaking work than my photography hanging just because it's like, sometimes it takes a lot to get your brain to make something.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I know what you mean. Like,
yeah. Let's see what else is on here. This is not mine, but this is cool. This is a print by a printmaker named Adrian Chin.
okay.
And he's a neuroscientist and also a printmaker. And to me, this looks like a brain synapse.
Oh, wow.
I'm not entirely sure that's what it is, but that's what it reminds me of. Just based on like the little like details of these like spaces between these things.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Because the brain is pretty fascinating.
Hmm.
Oh, I cannot remember the name of this artist, but I have like 4 of their prints in my house. I'll remember it later and post it in the comments. Sorry, everyone.
Hmm.
But this is a grandma, and it's cute.
That's cool.
Let's see what else is here. Can we see? Can we see this at all? This it's just a photo of a dog toy that I found, and I just like it because it's awkward and weird.
Huh.
And here's a Polaroid of someone in a zebra costume at a punk show.
Yeah, that one's there's some glare going on. I can't make it out too well.
Yeet.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. Wow.
All right. And then this is a print by this is an illustration by Griffin Thorne.
Okay.
A drunk dog.
Huh.
And I don't know. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
This is the same artist, and I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's on Community.
Oh, okay. It's kind of a minimalistic, almost cartoony like profile there.
I can't remember the name of the actor. It's like gonna kill me, but me.
I'm not sure who that is. Yeah.
I'm gonna remember later, and it's gonna annoy me because I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have known that.
Huh.
And let's see. There's some plants.
Oh, nice.
At my friend Jody's house, and then here's somebody's tattoos that I was just like, the film that I was shooting on was like it gives this like really like glorious like color because it's like Kodak gold, and
Okay.
it just has like a really like warm tone to it, so it's like nice to. This person it was like at a skate shop, and this person had just really like amazing tattoos, and I was like, I want to take a picture of this. Yeah, and it was fun.
Oh,
And
wow.
let's see what else. I think we got one last one on this wall. There's more, but they're just like hiding. And then this is kind of sad, but it's just like a little like I found a butterfly, like a monarch butterfly's wing in the grass at this forest preserve, and I found it kind of sad because it was just like it had gone through clearly it had gone through someone like mowing the lawn, and I don't know. It was just like sad, but it was also like pretty because I got to see it like up close, if that makes sense.
I like that. It's like you had a certain kind of artistic motivation there because it was sad. There's something about it that was sad. And like, I was just with a friend walking around outside, and I've noticed I'm drawn to like garbage cans in the alleyways and things that people throw away, or things that are like, if something catches my eye on it, I'll be like, oh, I have to take a picture of this. And I've noticed that's become like a theme of mine, taking pictures of weird things that people like have sitting on top of a garbage can or something. But like, so
like when they're giving it away, like.
Yeah, it's in the alleyway and they're just intending on throwing it away or whatever. But it's like a thing, like I have one of like these weird little stuffed animals, and another one with like a whole bunch of like trophies that people just like stacked on. It's like, so I feel like that's like a similar artistic motivation as what you were doing there with the butterfly. It's like there's something sad about it, like something like that's like a beloved thing that like at one point was like cared for, loved, or a human had a sentimental attachment for it, but now it's like being discarded, and it's like, so
Yeah I like it's interesting the way that sometimes we just decide to like discard things. But hi, Hot the Cat, you're back. We went
Hi, sorry. My computer was having problems and it kept dying, and I'm here now.
we did a little walk through the art on my walls.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very nice. What's the art on the wall behind you, Eric?
These are photos that Jenny made. I guess I'll just show you one, just because if I try to push this up there, it won't reach. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me
Don't
just
break
show you
anything.
one of them. So Jenny would do this thing where she would take photos and basically chop them all up and sort of arrange them on a canvas that she would paint the background for. It's very difficult to see what's sort of depicted on here, but it was like when some friends of mine and myself, we were kind of sitting around a campfire and we were playing some, music into the late hours of the night. And the quality is really difficult to come through there. But
Yeah.
that was her theme for like, she has like, I want to say 5 pictures of the same theme, where it's her photography mixed with, her doing this painted canvas of like background with this like different kind of collage of different colors. And then, so it's like half acrylic oil, half photography mixed into these certain works, but it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it's like she does some amazing artwork.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think
Very
that
cool.
it, like the way that it tells the story of a campfire is pretty interesting. How it's
Yeah.
like an adventure, and then you like come back and reflect and make work on it, similar to your album.
Yeah, it's like deconstructed photography too, because she's like taking the photos and she's like slicing them up and then sort of arranging them in like a weird little artistic way, I guess. So
Yeah, I really like the quality of that.
Me too. Yeah, really interesting.
It's like sort of analog glitchy.
Yeah.
it's a good way to put it, though. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I will say that I did finish the thing that I was trying to scramble to work on, because I really I was really enjoying listening to this album a lot, and some of the names are especially evocative, but like also just I don't know, like I recently went on a trip and like took some videos and just thought that it would be kind of nice to pair the nice quality of your music and like kind of just rolling quality of music with some of the videos that I made, but then also got inspired by the evocative names. So I made this little music video if you want to see it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
Let's check it out.
That is so awesome. I love that. I love the goldfinch cyborg at the end. That was brilliant.
Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it.
Oh yeah, I would definitely like to show that off if you could like give me that in some form. I'd like to like put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
on YouTube or
Yeah, I
something.
can totally.
Yeah.
I'll for sure send that to you. I'll probably put it up on my like YouTube or something, and you can put it up on yours.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Hell yeah.
Share it out. Yeah, I think especially like this is such a nice. It's such a nice album, and I do think that like anything that could be done to get more people to listen to it would be really nice.
Wow. Thanks so much. That really means a lot. I totally appreciate your feedback on that, man.
Yeah, it's just such a like I was trying to sort of describe to people this week kind of what we were doing and like how like oh yeah like there's an album release and like it just ended up like that it's really very just nice, like it's just very pleasant to listen to and like yeah kind of meditative and stuff and yeah I don't know, it's great.
That's so cool you have that experience with it. Yeah, I mean, I just really like to think of people having just like a calming experience when they hear the tunes, or that it actually gives somewhat of an effect like that to people, and it's like that could be like the best that I can hope for as far
Right,
as
yeah
people having that experience with the music that I made and stuff. It's like so cool. Like I love to hear stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I'm interested. So this is a selection from the music that you've made. Would you say all of the music that you've made kind of is in this vein, or like were there times that you went up there and you were just like shredding, or just like went to a harder play?
Yes, like the volume 2 that's going to be coming out, there are tunes on there that more have like they're more edgy. Some of the tunes are more edgy and a little bit more darker, and I get into some of that like free jazz, like free improvised drumming, as I've done with you before when we've jammed. So
Right.
There's going to be more stuff in that realm on the next thing that I put out, but at the same time, there are tunes that are in a similar vein to the volume 1 as well, like where kind of more meditative, more of a like even tempo thing, so predictable tempo.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mm.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. So good to meet you, Shelton, and Skunky. I'm glad you're on the scene as well, driving. Although you got a long drive going on, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Skunky, when do you think you'll be stopping today?
Oh, about midnight.
So that's a ways. You got a long drive ahead of you.
A little bit.
For some reason, I was hoping you were gonna like say shorter, like 5 minutes. Nope.
No.
No.
Nope. I've been working since 8:15 this morning, so
Well, that makes it a solid
solid day.
13 and a half, almost. It's 9:29 hours. Depending on where you started. I think we're in the same time zone.
Yeah, in Minnesota.
Should be.
But going for 13 hours, maybe did not start in this time zone.
I've been driving the whole time. I was fingerprinting freight.
I get the sense, Eric, that your time with us may be growing short. I mean, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, but
Sure. Yeah.
I also get the sense. I know that you're a fairly busy person. You probably work in the morning and such. Don't want to necessarily keep you all night.
Yeah, super cool to hang out on the hot show. I do have some like chore kind of stuff I gotta try to finish up before the end of the night and wake up kind of early, but like, yeah, it's just so cool to meet you guys and stuff and get to talk about the album. And it's just like, I really haven't had a chance to do that much with anyone since putting it out, like, so it's a cool thing for me. It's like so cool to see that video you put together. I thought that was incredible. And yeah, I love that. And
I'm glad that it paid off, because there seemed to be a chance when my computer died that I had been working on that, and not being present to the show. And then it might not have worked. And that would have been
Well, I'm glad that you were both able to reciprocate your love for the album together.
Yeah.
And then we also had like a little jam going on with the objects during the Gulliver's feed time and all that. So, I mean, we worked that into the hot show. I mean, there's a lot of variety that we like covered in this, hour span of time. And so, I mean, that's we've done good,
It's really great to have you here. I feel like I say this to everyone, and I so truly mean it. That anytime you want to come back, you are of course welcome. And I'm sure, volume 2, I'm sure, if nothing else, then I'm sure. But I feel like we also, there are a lot of things that we also have not delved into, like your impeccable music taste. Like, there's so much to get into there as well. So I hope sometime you get to come back.
I would for sure love to revisit, and I want to hear more about like what you guys are into as well. And like, for instance, Shelton's so cool to like just pick up on some of what your tastes are as far as like photography and artwork and stuff. So cool.
I was not fully no one has ever asked about the artwork behind me.
Yeah.
So that was a first on the show, and I think it was mainly because a laptop died, and I was like, why not? So
definitely
yeah,
interesting.
thanks for asking. It was an interesting trip down those memories as well.
Great. Well, great to hang out with you guys. I guess I'll check out, but yeah, I would for sure love to be in on this again. So
Yeah.
We're happy to have you
back.
back.
Welcome back every week. If you are so inclined to come.
Yeah, and we do all sorts of stuff on here too, so it's not always just a ton of questions asked at you. I can't promise that won't happen, but we do all sorts of goofy things. So you're welcome anytime.
I dig it. It's been great.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. I guess I'll check out. I'll see you soon.
See you, Eric. You're the best. Now, it's kind of to this point of the show. I see that there's something that I don't know. We've kind of entered a slightly different part of the show here, but I'm not sure how long we're going to be going here. I'm interested in what'll happen next, particularly because somebody's here. Garbanzo, welcome to the show again. Yay!
Hello. How are you?
Garbanzo bean.
Wow, it's so
What's
good to see you,
happening?
Garbanzo.
It's so good to see all of you.
It's been a while.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Are you?
How was the show?
It's
Sorry, I
been
missed it.
pretty good today.
Excellent.
I was working on a video for most of it. But Sheldon was asking some great questions to our guests here. Oh my goodness! And we got Joby Smash in the comments. We've got some cool people hanging out with us. Totally shifted from what the show was half an hour ago. Are you also driving, Garbanzo?
No, I'm just in my car. I got
Just
back
in the
from
car,
driving and realized, oh, it's the hot show right now. I should say hi.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to hear your hot hellos.
Step in here real quick and say, Garbanzo, I love you. I'm glad you're here. And the rest of you, I love you. And I have to take off.
Well, I
It
love
is-
you too, Skunky. Have a good rest of your trip.
Thank you. It's Tuesday time.
Adios,
Okay, bye.
amigo.
Bye.
Thank you for being here today.
I probably shouldn't stay too long either. I just wanted to say hello
Oh.
Well, it's so nice to
and say
see you.
I'm okay.
We love you, friend.
I
Nice to see you,
I
beautiful.
don't want to ask too much of you because I know you can only be here for a moment. But I wonder if this week you've had any moments of joy that you'd like to share at all.
Yes, but they're too personal to put on the show.
Love it.
Did
But
you
I have.
a nice number two? No, I'm sorry.
You know, I did take a really good dump today.
Nice.
Like better than usual. Like remarkable.
You know, sometimes it's the simple joys in life.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. Moments of joy, though, in particular.
Have you ever eaten a Cheez-It? That's a moment of joy right there.
I think so.
I don't
That
care if this
is.
is an endorsement. It can be a Cheez-It. It can be the off-brand kind. They're good. They're great to take camping with you. And look at that color.
Cheez-Its are a moment of joy.
They are.
And as far as I know, coming up, I'm going to be on the hot show regularly again.
Woo!
Just
Yeah.
from a different place in the
I hope you
country.
know this is you impersonating one of those like streamers when
So yeah,
on man.
coming back.
Well,
Back.
that's very exciting news.
Yeah.
Happy to have you, Garbans.
Sorry for freaking you out in the past.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, aside from that,
All the freaks are welcome on the hot show.
it's going to be interesting to see what life is like in the desert.
Going to the desert.
Yeah. So we'll let you know what happens there.
Well, I feel like, do you have any song requests before you go?
I would appreciate it if we could each do 3 ohms together.
Oh. That's a nice song.
Would that be okay?
Right.
So let's just breathe for a bit.
My shoulder.
Let's take one more breath and then we'll do 3 ohms. Oh.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
It helps.
Nice.
It's what I should have been doing when I was doing other rambunctious and stupid things.
I should have been Omen.
That would have been a
I
good
should-
moment.
I should have been Omen instead of doing them things. Yeah.
Can, real quick, can I get you just saying that we're gonna be totally quiet, and can we just get you saying, "I should have been Omen."
What are you gonna use that for?
Just I want to have it in case you want to use it. All right, are you ready?
Yeah. I should have been Omen. Is that what you wanted?
I would say maybe give it a little bit extra twang, especially on the Omen.
I should have been Omen instead of doing all those crazy things.
Great.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I was laughing in the background.
That's
It
perfect.
sounds like
English
a funny thing.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Hmm.
Well, yeah.
You are welcome to stay longer if you'd like.
I would like, but I'm currently packing up and getting ready to move to a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Just briefly, until I find out my next spot. It's a lily pad, but it's a weird lily pad.
You hopping like a frog, my friendo.
Yeah,
Well-
it's strange to find a lily pad in the desert.
It is, but I think that it'll work.
Well, a friend
Just
earlier
stop
on the show had shared with us that sometimes when you are trying something new, you are what he referred to as just noodling around on something. Oh shit. When you're noodling, you're just like discovering new stuff. And it's okay to treat life and making music as an exploration and just noodle your way through it.
Yeah, I think
Made
that's
more
what I'm
sense than
doing.
we were earlier, but it was supposed to be inspirational and
I like it. I like it.
I got you. I'm noodling.
noodling your way through it.
I'm gonna get there.
Noodling your way through it.
I think when you get really low, it means you can get really high, and then you gotta find the middle.
Yeah,
The middle is the place to be.
we should do a segment where you impersonate Bob Ross.
I would do it. I think it would be better with like an Arizona sunrise in the background,
Yeah.
like painting it.
I
Yeah.
think it might be a little bit hard on 8 p.m. Central Time to get a sunrise, Arizona sunrise.
Oh
That-
no, sunset is what I
Oh,
meant.
yeah. That makes more sense.
Maybe during the
Or-
summertime.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on going camping a lot out there, so
Cool.
maybe I'll go to Sedona and we could set up a paint thing.
That sounds very
It'll
nice.
be good.
I'm in for the bit of you pretending to be Bob Ross, and I think that would be fun.
That was my nickname when I worked at Whole Foods in Florida.
Florida.
I shit you not. They called me Bob Ross. They didn't call me Michael, nothing.
Not
Bob
Garbanzo.
Ross. They did not call me Garbanzo because they didn't call me Garbanzo. Like,
What the
Even though that's
Time
what
is
your
weird.
name tag said?
what?
Even though that's what your name tag said?
I think they actually made it say Bob Ross as a joke.
What? I'm upset for
So,
you, but also excited at the same time.
all right. Well, I don't have a spoon on me.
I don't know.
Everybody has spoons.
We've entered spoon time, so
Well, what a metaphor.
Oh shit. I bet I have a spoon somewhere in this car. I don't think I do though. Am I being hypnotized?
Yes. Is it working?
I gotta roll my seat back here. You won't see me anymore.
Ooh, hot.
you think that we could
I don't have a spoon. I have a tennis ball. I don't have a spoon.
I would fit in a spoon.
Maybe I could rest
Spoon?
the tennis ball atop the spoon.
Oh, here.
You could hold it up.
I'll switch. Put it at the bottom.
Thanks for cupping my ball.
All right, episode 69 of the Hot Show. Thank you, everyone. And
All right, I'm gonna go. I love you folks.
So much
you're
love.
great
I
humans.
love you, Garbanzo.
It's such a pleasure to see you here.
Yes, I'll be back. I'll be back and better. Yeah, you folks are great.
Love you.
Goodbye. So much love. I love you. Bye bye.
Adios, amigo. What if from now on we just wave goodbye like this for no context? Just.
All right. Now, do you think that our spoons could spoon?
That's what 69ing is, right?
Well, that would be more like our spoons.
Oh. I don't know if mine has the right, like, proper.
I'm not sure if spoons can really 69.
I think they
They-
can.
They sure can spoon.
Yeah. Spooning is great. This feels weird. I'm ready to say goodbye song.
Is it that time already?
I think it is.
y'all for coming down. That was the hot show. Thank y'all for sticking around. Hope you had some fun, but now the show is done. So go on, get out of